Today, I can also announce that the United States has set a new goal of reducing our net greenhouse gas emissions by 26 to 28% below 2005 levels by the year 2025. This is an ambitious goal, but it is an achievable goal. It will double the pace at which we're reducing carbon pollution in the United States.
It is called an historic climate change deal. America and China announcing that both countries will curb their greenhouse gas emissions over the next 20 years. This, as we are already told by some experts, the climate change tipping point is already here, and we can't stop it no matter what we do. Is this as historic as some would claim? Let's welcome back to MidPoint, researcher for the website Our Finite World. It explores how oil limits affect the economy and so much more. Gail Tverberg joins us. Gail, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you. Good to be here.
Let's get right on to it then. Is this as historic as everybody claims?
Well, I think it's sort of acknowledging what the peak oil people and the people looking at oil limits and other fossil fuel limits have been talking about for a long time, and that is that our fossil fuel supply is going to be going down in the near future before 2030. And the fact that it's going down, just saying that our emissions are going down is just acknowledging what's actually happening. It's not really taking any action on anybody's part. It's really, they're leaving us, as opposed to us leaving them.
Well, I guess that's part of the issue here, because we're making an agreement with China, and the Chinese are saying that we'll help clean up the planet. And basically, if you look at the Chinese air quality, it's one of the worst in the world, where frankly they had to take cars off the streets when the president was there to keep the smog down so they could see each other 3 feet in front of their face. What makes us believe that the Chinese are serious about this? They haven't shown any inkling towards it at any time in the past.
Well, we know, I was one of the authors of one study that's been done with respect to the amount of coal that China has available to it. And we looked at it to see, how long they could keep growing their their coal production. And what we found was that the amount of coal production would have to reach a limit and start decreasing between 2025 and 2030, just because of supply issues. But it very well could decrease quite much sooner than that because of, say, pollution issues or water issues. So they are facing a situation where coal supply, which is what they depend on, is disappearing away from them, whether they do anything or not. So we can be sure that they are going to keep their part of the agreement because it's disappearing.
We've got about a minute left here, Gail. Is it not fair to say that America, certainly more can be done in many ways to clean up the environment, but certainly there are other countries like China, like Japan, like Russia, so many others that need to do a whole lot more and are probably more guilty in poisoning the atmosphere than we are?
Well, we've been guilty in sending our manufacturing over to China for them to do while we sat by and did all of the service industries. So I'm not sure that it's entirely their fault. In fact, our solar panel production and such contribute to their pollution. So it's a world problem. And, we can point fingers, but it really is a world problem.
Either way, one way or another, we're going to have to clean up the planet, whether it comes this way or whether it comes through legislation or dealing with the Chinese. It's got to happen because I think, as you pointed out in a recent paper, too, that the Chinese coal supply is going to peak 2025, 2030, so that's in 20 years anyway. There we are. We're right where we need to be. Gail, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thanks so much. We'll talk again soon.
Okay, thank you.
All right. It is called historic by many, and there are those who say it is. But let's again be very honest. What Gail said is correct. Many times we just send our manufacturing over to China. They're pushing it out. They're the ones polluting the air, probably a lot more than Americans are, and they're going to run out of coal real soon. So they're looking to us to probably help them as well, to see if we can make life a little better for them. And again, don't forget, the economics are all tied together between America and China. We fail and fall together in so many ways. Stay with us, because right here on MidPoint, every day, we question everything.